afternoon, and thank you for joining us today. Welcome to the second in a series of 4 webinars outlining the benefits of the strategic partnership between Siemens and Tata Technologies. Today's webinar, Traceability and Real-Time Visibility, Providing Better Visibility into Manufacturing Operations, will be presented by Siemens MOM Expertise Alliance Center and the Tata Technologies teams. From Tata Technologies, we have Venki Sundaraj, the Vice President of Sales, and Rohan Palshikar, the North American Subject Matter Expert on Manufacturing Operations Management and Manufacturing Execution Systems, MOM and MES for short. And from Siemens, let me introduce you to Andrea Molinari, the Head of Business Development for MOM Alliances in the Americas. Like I mentioned, this is the second in a series of 4 webinars. In today's webinar, we'll demonstrate how implementing traceability and real-time visibility systems can be a catalyst for change in your manufacturing operations. Before we begin, I'd like to review some quick housekeeping items. First, all attendees will be muted. However, you will be able to make comments and ask questions in the box to the right of your screen. We'll answer all of the questions at the end of the presentation. And secondly, there is a 2-question survey after the presentation that shouldn't take longer than a few seconds to complete. Thank you for your feedback. Again, we thank you for taking time out of your busy schedule today to be with us. Without further delay, let's begin with Andrea Molinari of Siemens.
Thank you, Anna. Thank you very much. Hello, everybody. Good afternoon, good morning. Thank you for sharing this webinar with us. Today we talk about traceability and real-time visibility. So we will go through our value proposition in general. We will detail in the topic of traceability and visibility together with Tata Technology, who is a strategic alliance in the framework of MIAC, that is the MOM Expertise Alliance Center, our practice for alliances. So we start looking at what is pretty common to everybody today, that companies are facing a big transformation in the way the company themselves are managed. So the digitalization of the manufacturing processes are affecting very deeply the way the companies not even produce their products, but the way they think and they design their products in the entire life cycle of their product. Of course, transformations, especially in the IT area, are a big opportunity, but are also a big challenge to which you need to react accordingly. Otherwise, the risk is that the company struggle and is not able to get the benefits that they can do in producing. So the role of companies like Siemens is to support this transition, this transformation, and joining efforts with strategic alliances like Tata Technologies enable to support customer in this journey, in this transformation journey. We are talking about Industry 4.0 or smart manufacturing or manufacturing renaissance. Many terms that all reflect and identify this transformation process. And Siemens responds with a product offering, the Digital Enterprise Software Suite, that covers all the aspects of manufacturing, from the ideation and the definition of a product to its realization, so the execution, and the delivery to the market. And today we will focus mostly on the execution phase. The goal of Siemens is to develop a value proposition that supports the customer in this transformation process, especially, as we said, in the execution area. So the transformation is very impacting, is a business transformation, is a technological transformation. So the competencies required are extremely strong, and this is why we strongly rely with our alliances to ensure our joint customer success. Little more in detail now what we mean with the digital enterprise software suite. So we were talking about technology transformation, and there are some common aspects we all are aware about. So for example, Internet of Things. We are talking about devices that are more and more intelligent, that are always connected, and they communicate, they provide status, they provide indicators, information to manage. Then we talk about mobility. Now is given as granted that with whichever device you have and wherever you are, you must be able to connect and operate in with IT resources. And the benefit of cloud computing are very clear to everybody, moving the IT infrastructure, the compute into a computing capability that is shared and the ability to use the resources only when necessary. So all those examples are very common in our life, but when they enter in the shop floor, that is becoming critical. The plant must run safely all the time. So manufacturers need to adapt their ability and their capability to face those challenges. So why all this is important? From a technological perspective, we need to be able to provide solutions, MES and MOM applications that are unified, based and aligned to the state of the art of the technology, and sharing a platform that enables scalability. So scalability means that you start from small, maybe addressing a small area of the plant, and scale horizontally. That means that you expand the application to other areas. Or you add functionality, so you scale vertically. And all those scalability must be done in a smooth and seamless way. The user experience is also extremely important. We just mentioned the fact that mobility is one of the topics, but it's not the only one. On the shop floor, usually you create a huge amount of data that are relevant to many users, but a different level of aggregation and contextualization. So you can imagine that the operator lines need certain informations at a certain level of granularity, while a maintenance manager needs similar information, but organizing in a different way to take in decision, and the production manager will need to monitor the execution of the orders with, again, same type of information, but aggregated in a different way. Then this is the platform we are providing. The integration of the with the PLM is another extremely important factor, is a huge differentiator for Siemens, because the platform we provide for MOM solution is integrated with the engineering space. So you can imagine that anytime you define how a new product has to be produced, how you define the bill of material, how you define the processes and everything, all those information ultimately have to be streamlined into the plant. And the fact that the platform you are using is the same, and you have an almost automatic transition of those information into the plant is a huge benefit. And then obviously focusing in the execution of the processes, that is basically the coordination of the manufacturing operation. To achieve this goal, Siemens followed a very holistic approach. That means providing a solution all across the various aspects of the value chain. So knowing how you design your product and how you plan to produce your product, how you engineer your plans to produce your product, and then producing it. And this is obviously a big effort and an extreme good value proposition. From an execution perspective, we can narrow down a little more now, and we see that all those aspects of the value chain have different product focus, and then can you see at the execution level is the big focus of the MES, the manufacturing execution and advanced planning and scheduling and other components that enable within the Siemens product platform to provide the services required at this level. In particular, the components that make up the manufacturing operation management portfolio are quality management, that means ability to plan the quality and to execute the quality procedure at the shop floor level. So while you physically produce your product and being able to integrate test areas, laboratory systems, if any, and manage the auditing of the rework if needed, and apply quality procedures like SPC charts. That is the field of quality management. The second important component is the advanced planning and scheduling. We're talking about executing orders, which is a good task of MES, but execute them efficiently, trying to minimize the changeover, trying to minimize the downtime of the equipment, trying to optimize the delivery of the materials throughout the shop floor. And this is exactly the task of the APS, Advanced Planning and Scheduling. Then there is the manufacturing execution system, which is somehow the core of the manufacturing operation management. And with execution, we mean executing the order, of course, the primary goal of the factory, executing the order in time with the right quality. And this means coordinating all the logistic movements along the shop floor, just in time, just in sequence, and all the other possible ways of providing materials, tracking the production, and is highlighted in red on the slide because this is exactly the topic of the today webinar, monitoring the performance and so on. And the EMI, the Enterprise Manufacturing Intelligence, giving visibility to the entire organization of information, KPI, indicators, a different level of granularity across the entire organization. The digital enterprise product portfolio on the MOM space is providing a common platform that we have briefly described that then is verticalized per industry. So the specialization of the use cases typically of each industry are then verticalized. So the difference between the various industries are then focused in this verticalization. So the bill of material of the automotive industry as a structural difference with the bill of material you can find in a process type of industry. And this is exactly the type of verticalizations that is provided by the platform. Why this webinar joint between Siemens and Tata Technology? Well, this is exactly what we said at the beginning. We have this program of alliance that is called MIAC, MOM Expertise Alliance Center, where we rely on strategic alliances with very selected partners who have the ability to deliver solutions successfully in this field with the ability to meet the short, medium, long-term goals of our customers. So Siemens want to rely on this type of partnership that are able to provide their specialization, their industry expertise, and partners that are able to deploy solution and that they have a pool of resources that are continuously trained and updated on the value proposition of our product. So MIAC is exactly the container of all those specialization and is the way that Siemens is using to go to the market for MOM. As I said, Tata Technologies is a long-term alliance of Siemens, and they are part of the MIAC since the early stages. And I think that Denki can introduce the practice of Tata Technologies.
Thank you, Andrea. Welcome everybody to this webinar. On the Tata, just to introduce you guys to the Tata Group. Some of you would have known the company, but Tata Group is India's oldest, largest, well-respected organization, highly ethical organization. It was founded in 1868 and continues to be a very strong organization globally, with revenues of over 103 billion and with over 68% of that revenue coming from outside of India, with a base of close to 700,000 employees across the globe. Tata Group focuses on multiple sectors, starting with IT, engineering, field, and so on. And some of the top companies in the bottom that you see, Tata Motors, Jaguar Land Rover, Tata Steel, Tata Beverages are some of the examples of the Tata companies. And under the Tata Group, if we move on to the next slide, a subset of Tata Group, which is Tata Technologies. And Tata Technologies is a $410 million enterprise within the Tata Group, with about 4 active regions and over 8,500 professionals across the globe in North America, Europe, and Asia Pacific. Specific to the manufacturing operations management and the MES areas, we have over 1,500 plus combined years of expertise and experience in this domain. We are MES product agnostic through our years of experience in working on the MES field. And we have a practice with more than 150 plus specialized resources across the globe. And this number is continuing to grow by the day, looking at the industry and the volume growth that happens. Specific to the manufacturing operations management expertise alliance center that Tata Technologies has with Siemens, our mission is to really accelerate the business development and the revenue in the areas of manufacturing operation. If you look at capabilities, Siemens provides a very strong capability with respect to the tool sets that they offer on the PLM domain, with the Semantic IT suite on the manufacturing operations management. Tata Technologies has a very, very strong project implementation capability, rollout, consulting, upgrade, technical support, staffing, and everything that goes along with the support of what Siemens offers from a tool set. So the enabling processes and the people support comes from Tata Technologies, with the tool sets coming from Siemens. And really the differentiation that we bring to the table with this partnership is really with the combined years of our own 1,500 combined years of experience in the MES domain, coupled with our partnership with Siemens for over 20 plus years, and with the creation of our Tata Technologies Center of Excellence Demo Center, we clearly feel that as an organization and as a partner, we are able to bring a much, much stronger value proposition to the industry. With that, I will pass it over to Rohan, who will take you through the traceability and real-time visibility competencies that Tata Technologies brings to the table. Rohan?
Thanks, Venki. Good morning, everyone. Good evening. Welcome to our webinar today. So I would be speaking about the traceability and real-time visibility, an interesting topic the industry guys would see. And then so let's moving over to our next slide. So as part of the MEAC and our Tata Technologies Alliance, if you see, we have taken certain initiatives, the business value drivers that would really resonate to you, to your operational and business objectives. Like if you see on the left-hand side, you see the drivers like giving you specific solutions. So being more efficient with having OEE and being more compliant, having traceability and visibility on your shop floor, being connected and having the best quality processes for your products for faster, making them to be faster to market. And if you see on the right-hand side, you see the business value drivers, which give you the benefits through all the initiatives that we will talk through, and the industries that we cater, the automotive, the aerospace and defense, and the IHM industry. So moving over to our next slide. So talking about traceability and real-time visibility. So if you see, it's not new to us. Like It's been from the past ages. ISO mandates traceability as a prime requirement, and we all have been doing it, maintaining manual data through Excel sheets, and a lot of the stuff that we do, counting products at shop floor and many processes. But the first thing that a traceability solution would help you is maintain these manual records, which is a big overhead that would go away, and then reduce your product rework and recalls, give you exact root cause analysis for a product defect, optimize the batch size for product recalls, and also mitigate the risk, will make you proactive, reduce your supply chain inefficiencies. So by mitigating that risk for your product recalls, if you see, it can be through your entire supply chain, right from your raw material to your production processes to your finished goods dispatch, and right connected to your customers just in time and deliveries. So there you can trace your products. It can be forward, giving you traceability towards what lots have been dispatched, what should be recalled if you find some issue in your raw materials, and then giving you backward traceability wherein you can get what are the root causes for that. So it will help you gain more visibility as you go with the solution, not only on your shop floor, but also bettering your processes as you move ahead with the solution. So moving to the next slide, some of the problems that are core to go for a traceability solution, which would also resonate to some of you. If you see at the center, the traceability jointly work, if you have solutions with tracking and controlling, so it will give you the real-time visibility. So some of the problems you may see, like not having product history for the raw materials used, not having the right process parameters, that currently you cannot determine the lots of the finished goods products. You cannot determine the batches of raw materials, where did that end up, or which customer received the lot of the material that you produced. And there may be problems with determining quality issues with your supply chain, any raw material which is making problems to your production thing. And then you may also have, you won't have a mechanism, you may want a mechanism to trace what your vendor is providing, what process parameters did he use, and then which would help you to see the problems in the traceability process. And then finding the root cause, and then what level of traceability you're looking at, whether it is operational, a user level, or a product level, or a tool level. So traceability can go from many stages, and then it can have efficient recall management and meet your customer expectations. To the next slide, if you see the business case associated with traceability here, so traceability goes hand in hand with two main drivers. The two main drivers would be, first is it can be a prerequisite to doing your business. Let's say, for example, a tier 1 manufacturer of products supplying to an automotive OEM. The automotive OEM may mandate the traceability requirements, mandate the data requirements, the process parameters required with whatever he supplies. So that can be a prerequisite for him to do his business. So that won't be really associated to a specific ROI, but typically driven by the customer that he's supplying to. Second thing can be an economic consideration for a better value and a better cost effectiveness through what he's producing and providing to the market, there are some products which are really hard to manufacture, complex processes, so that can have, so when you go to the product life cycle, each step would increase the defect tracking tenfold, and so you have to be really meticulous about how you maintain the data, and then reduce your cost when there is a recall and when there is any rework that is required. So the actual cost of recall can be very staggering in such cases where the product is really complex to manufacture. So a business case that is put forward, and which also we'll discuss in detail in the case study that comes ahead next. So the business case is where a tier 1 manufacturer was looking to change his supplier for a bearing component which he used in his cars and trucks. So the previous bearing that he used had a Julian date that we all are aware of, and then he could not get whether he should, when there was a recall, is it the lot that was produced on a day, or so he used to always scrap the lot which was there for 3 days of production. So that's really a huge cost when it comes to such managing the recalls and getting the root cause and also meeting the compliance. So these are the direct costs which you see, but indirect cost, there also are some indirect costs. So you need to work on containing the cost for rework, reducing the recalls, or counterfeit parts from unspecified supply chain, so that can be curtailed. So if you see here that the lines, it says that if you see through all the reviews and which are going on, if you see the warranty cost for automotive industry exceeds 9 billion per year. So that's a huge cost which can be reduced if you have a good solution. So the next slide, if you see the target industries, so the industries like aero, auto OEMs, component manufacturers, IHM, industrial heavy machinery, that is, and the mechanical assembly, the process industries, all can be benefited through a solution. So if you see that the specific to the automotive industry, the Recall and Enhancement Act mandates that whenever there is a safety recall, the traceability data should be given to the National Highway and Transport Safety Board. So that is the main requirement where you need to have the data. And ISO 9001:2008, material identification and traceability is the main requirement. And if you see the target areas, so it can be a supply chain that you can trace. It can be the production process, the work order, that is the work order traceability from the operational, user, and product level point of view, and the material traceability and then having the tools and the consumables traced, whatever is used in your production process. So if you see the other benefits to it are like, if you have a material traceability augmented with real-time tracking, it can give you an exact location of the material where it is in your shop floor, in your warehouses, and can also give you the quantities that are there. And it would also, and for example, looking at the new Industry 4.0 and IoT revolution that we are going into, if you have tools which can be augmented with an IoT solution, which can help you also in predictive maintenance, because you're already having the traceability data, you're recording the parameters, through which went through the process, and then you can also use them through an IoT solution augmented for predictive maintenance as you go ahead. So this is how it would all fall in place when you start with a solution. So so over to you, Venki, where you can speak of the benefits as to why Tata Technologies can help.
Thanks, Rohan. So again, why Tata Technologies? If you look at it on the left-hand side of the picture there, the different solutions that we offer through the verticals on the manufacturing operations management side of things, the OEE, traceability, real-time visibility, shop floor to top floor, EWIs and defect tracking. Looking at those solutions, on the horizontal, Tata Technologies is able to offer solutions at 3 different levels for our customers. At the base level, you're looking at an enabler, kind of a support, which is more technology and domain-specific intellectual property support, and offering base level implementation. At the realized level, it's working on execution specific to taking on many projects with the client, fixing certain gaps within the organization that are relevant to traceability or OEE. And at the transformational level, we come in as a business advisor, being able to do a full scan of a plant scenario, looking at coming up with specific areas which will have to be addressed in the short term and the long term, doing a diagnostic jointly through interactive workshops with the customer team members, and also engaging on complex projects and program execution. On the right-hand side, some of our value propositions, starting from the top. As I had mentioned, you can kind of tie this with the enable, realize, and transform, starting with solution design and implementation at the base level, to solution rollout, to integration capabilities, consulting, through MES scanning. We have our proprietary scanning tools available with which we can actually scan through plant scenarios and coming up with reports which clearly highlight areas of improvements that are going to be required, and all the way from going to the along the circle, AMS and multi-level support, all the way through reporting solutions. So we offer an entire gamut of different types of solutions at different levels, depending on the type of problems and depending on the nature of the client, whether it's a local client or a local client with global operations and so on and so forth. So that's the beauty of the scalability that Tata Technologies brings to the table through this MOM Alliance Center. With that, I would probably now transition over to Andrea to take you through some of the use cases, and then to Rohan.
Yes, thank you. Few examples on how the product has been installed at customers in different industries. So the first example is an aerospace industry that started exactly. The request was to link better what was defined at the PLM level with the execution. So basically they wanted to address the adherence of what is actually produced with what was designed. So the traceability was an extremely important part of this project, because exactly it was necessary to provide a as-built report to be compared with the as-planned report. An important part of this project was also the ability to manage the rework that may occur during the production. So the bidirectional integration between PLM and execution was key, and the execution was mostly focused on tracking the production according to the specification. Another example is in the automotive industry, the luxury automotive industry, and in this case there was the request of coordinating all the various areas of the production with a unique tool, again with the ability to track all the transitions. So you went from the body welding to the painting and the final assembly, the test, all the engine preparation, everything was coordinated with the same tool. Again, due to the high end and high value of the product, one of the most important requirements was the traceability. So there is a full traceability from the body welding down to the test phase when the vehicle is ready to be delivered. And this was an excellent example of the traceability.
Yeah, thanks, Andrea. So this case study, if you see here, like providing, it says about providing 4 levels of traceability with a single solution. So if you see here, this was a tier 1 bearing manufacturer providing to an OEM the business case that we just saw previously. So this company partnered with us to work on a track and trace solution to capture their complete product history to the entire supply chain. It was right from the raw material stage to the production and to the finished good, where they supplied the material to the OEM. So like you see, it was a leading global manufacturer with a footprint, and which there was a lack of traceability, a lot of product recalls coming, and then they didn't have the root cause, the actual root cause as to what is the batch size, the lot size that should be rejected or recalled. So the main challenges they faced were reducing the after-sales quality issues, improving the vendor management process, where they even wanted to have traceability process parameters coming from their vendor end, who provided the raw materials and the processed goods. And then also having unit level traceability for each bearing, what went in, what were the consumables that were used, what processes that it went through, and to whom it was supplied. So and it was all by better utilizing the existing resources that they had and not putting any more different mechanisms in place, and gaining the analysis capabilities that everyone would require. So if you see here the process, if you see the entire scenario here, you had the suppliers and the process vendors on one end, and the OEM at the center, if you see. So from the supplier, so it was an integrated solution to the SAP, wherein when the material came in through the to the raw material store, we had the automatic creation of the goods receipt notes, which are integrated through barcoding solutions. And then we also had the data being captured from the vendor end. There was a terminal provided at the vendor end to enter the process parameters and the data for what production was going on at his end with respect to the work order that was generated by the OEM. And then also, so if you see the input parameters for traceability are the would be the intake data, the raw material data, the ingredients that were used, then the process data at the shop floor, and then also there was also automatic packaging labels that were generated at the end of the line where the material was stored in the finished good yard, and then also the dispatch data. So the main issue that they also had with the dispatches wherein the material which was provided, let's say it is developed, being produced for OEM 1 and OEM 2 on the same line, and they had specific specs with OEM 1 going to the second OEM, so which was a great issue with when it comes to recalling the batch of bearings. And if you see, and from the, so if you see, there were two things, that the forward traceability and a backward traceability. At the backward level, it would be the lot numbers, the packaging data, the order data, the warranty failures that would trigger it. And then the benefits that you see here through the backward are the good root cause analysis, because there was all the data that was maintained right from the raw material stage to the process stage and to the finished good stage. And then you had a proper material quality analysis. Then a vendor quality analysis could be performed, and which really strengthened the supply chain. And on the forward traceability side, you see you could quarantine defects, that if you found that there was some say a raw material supplier informed the company saying that there was issue with the raw material that he provided, some process parameter that didn't work, and the lab found out. So it was possible to inform the OEM saying this is the batch, this is the lot of bearings that you should put aside and should not use it, that containing the recall that would come after. So that was a huge cost saving there that they saw. And then so they could recall proper lots and then be and could be more proactive. So the solution, if you see, it had interface with multiple PLCs online, different touch points, and barcoding was implemented throughout, and then integration with SAP, as I said, for the masters, the batch of production, the finished good invoicing data, and traceability the data. And then it had, if you on the right hand side, you can see the typical batch sizes and the vendors. And at the below, you see the results like improved RCA, better unit level traceability, good reporting, and an improved vendor process. So moving ahead, so what is the enabler for the solutions and the what have we been talking about, the solutions, the benefits? So what could be the enabler if you look at implementing one? Over to you, Andrea.
Yeah, thank you very much, Rohan. I think I have some trouble in viewing the screen at the moment, but I am moving on with the presentation of the just a quick glance to the product. If you can move to slide 35. Yeah. This is an overall view of the portfolio and all the typical functionality of an MOM space. We focused in particular on the two highlighted in red, the interface with the operator for data collection and electronic work instruction, and the real tracking and trace. So if you move to the next slide, obviously when you track the production, an extremely important part is to know who is performing the operation. Another item to track is the person who is interfaced. And in this stage, the operator is able to monitor what is happening, which are the operation, which is the product that is under management in this case. And all those information are tracked and associated to the final product. As a side function in this case, there are all the management of the possible rework that may happen during the production. A second part of the traceability is exactly linked to tracing what are the materials that are used, what are the tools that are used, all the management of those information. And they are, again, associated and tracked along the process. So when the final report, the as-built, is created, all the information related to who was working where, doing what, with which tool and which operation are all tracked together automatically. And there's the main function of the traceability. Here we have a movie that in few minutes shows more or less the experience of an operator during his day and of work. So he's going to see what is the order that he is managing, and when it checks the order, it has all the information on what is the product that is currently produced. He or she can check what are the operations that are to be executed at his station, so all the various phases. He or she can check the history, so what happened so far and what is going to happen. And you can see on the screen a standard display of those information. Of course, an important part is related to the material, so what material the operator have to use, possible tools. There is an area dedicated to manage the non-conformancy and the ability to notify if the non-conformancy has been managed. As the last part of this quick clip, you can see the real genealogy. So identifying what work order we are managing, we are interested to. You can see there are two branches. One is the materials associated to the production, and the other branch will be the material and activity associated to the rework. And each branch has sub-branches, one per each station, which is one per each process that has been executed. If there are materials, they are associated here. And so this is a display on how this particular part that is a winglet attached to a big wing of an aircraft is managed. And you can see every single branch exploded. So this is pretty much the how the genealogy is managed in this case.
Yeah. So thanks, Andrea. So if you see, if we have seen through the what would be the benefits of traceability, we have seen some critical use cases that we have worked with our clients. We have seen the solution enabler that would help you from the Siemens MOM space. And so, coming to the summary of what we are doing, so if you see the need for manufacturers to focus on compliance and traceability initiatives is significantly increasing across the globe, and commercial pressures are growing to meet the regulatory mandates. So you would need a better solution, and a solution being implemented by a better partner. So Tata Technologies and Siemens are unique in their abilities to deliver uniquely well solutions through the MOM space, with Siemens having the software, MOM software for over 1,500 combined years of experience that we have together, and in the MES consulting and implementing the projects. And we, Tata Technologies, leverage the 20 years partnership with Siemens, and we do have the demo centers to support the business development and pre-sales activities that we do. So you can certainly get in touch with us and for any solution needs that you see. And moving next, so we do have upcoming webinars on for the topics as you see, the shop floor to top floor integration coming June 14th, and EWI, electronic work instructions and defect tracking, on the July 19th. And we also have a big event coming up at DMD III Chicago on the 27th of July, where where Siemens and Tata Technologies, as part of the MEAC, will jointly do industry focus event for showing their best practices. You would have keynote speakers speaking about how we make a difference and how we go about implementing solutions. And you would have a DMD tour there where you would see the actual product working and the actual live scenarios. You can see a glimpse of it on the right of your screen. So yeah, so let's next. So we are open for questions now. So any questions that have come up? So yeah, we do have one question that has come up, like what would be the physical identification that would be required for a tracing and tracking solution? So physical identification can be anything depending on what solution you are looking at and what needs to be traced. It can be a barcoding solution, an RFID based, or we have also worked with the direct part marking solutions where there can be the business case that you saw for the bearing industry. It had the laser etching been done, or there can also be a dot beam chemical etching, stamping, and many solutions. So the barcoding and the RFIDs can be linked to your lots, batches, VIN numbers, transport information, global trade identification numbers, and you can also have mobile-based solutions for that. So it really does not matter to what physical identification can be used. It depends on what the solution is required, and then we can help you with that. So yeah, so this was one question that we had. So let's. Any more questions that you have?
I think that.
Yeah. So we have no more questions coming up. So that sets up for today. So you're on the screen. Thank you for really attending, and over to you, Hannah.
Well, thank you everybody for joining us. I just want to remind you to please take a moment to complete the survey at the end of the webinar. And then obviously don't forget to mark your calendars for June 14th, July 19th, and July 27th for our upcoming webinars and in-person event in Chicago. Thank you very much for your time today, and we hope to see you next month. Thank you.